Hey my loves, what's up? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Crissanna, and if you're new here, then welcome, and if you're an oldie, welcome back. In today's video, we have a brand new palette to test out by ABH. So this is the ABH Glam To Go palette. So here is what the packaging looks like. And then there are what all the shades are going to look like. So I'm pretty sure this retails for $29. And I know like a month ago, ABH came out with a large palette. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the mini one for the big palette. And I want to say that the bigger palette was around like $54. So here is what the palette looks like. And then you open it up, you get a mirror, and you get your 8 shades. I love the tones of this palette. And I feel like this is going to be the perfect palette for everyday wear. So you get 3 shimmer shades and then you get 5 matte shades. There is one matte shade down here at the bottom that's called Rosy. And it looks like it's going to have like specks of glitter in it. But I guess we'll see when we put it on the eyes. I have a few ABH palettes and I think they perform well. But the shadows are very, very powdery. I think I'm going to do 2 looks in today's video just to get use of all the shades. Also, I'll be doing swatches at the end of the video. I'm going to take the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer to prime one lid. Just going to go ahead and blend this out and also clean up the brows. I'm going to take a little bit of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Setting Powder to set down the lid. Also got my Monster in hand, so cheers. So I kind of want to keep one eye a little bit softer and then one eye a little bit darker. So let's go ahead and do a lighter look first. And I'm going to start off with this shade Softy. I'm taking this on a BH Cosmetics blending brush. It doesn't have a name or a number on it. I'm just going to blend this all around the crease area. Ooh, that is a pretty shade and a nice wash of color. That is a really, really nice soft shade. I like that a lot. Now I'm going to take the shade Rosy, and I'm taking this on a Moda blending brush. This picked up quite a bit of product. I'm going to start tapping this along the outer V. So even though this shade looks like it has some glitter in it in the pan, it doesn't show up on the eye at all. Maybe I was tripping and there actually isn't any glitter in this shade because I'm not seeing any on the lid at all. So I'm very lightly going to start blending this shade into the crease. So far, formula seems really good. I'm going to go back in with Softy, which was the first matte shade. I'm just going to lightly blend everything out. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab a shimmer shade now. I'm going to grab the shade right here called Sunburst. Using this on a BH number 9 brush, which is a flat brush. ABH usually has a really nice shimmer formula. They usually pick up really well with a brush. Okay, so this is a really, really pretty shade, but I feel like most of the product is just sitting on my brush. After applying it to the eye, this shade is very, very pretty. It's like the perfect orange shade for fall. I'm going to bring this all the way over to the outer portion because I am going to save the other 2 shimmer shades for the other look. This is a really pretty, soft, but yet colorful eye look, and it's exactly what I was going for. I'm going to go back in with Rosy, the deepest matte shade. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of tap this out and connect the shimmer and the matte shade. So I did get quite a bit of fallout from the shimmer shade, so I'm just going to lightly dust that away. Let's go ahead and do the lower lash line really quick. I'm just going to go back in with the same 2 matte shades we used. I'm going to take Softy first. And I'm just going to take this on a smudging brush and run this right along the lash line. And then on a really skinny smudging brush, I'm going to go back in with Rosy. And I'm just going to tuck this right up against the lash line. There is the first eye look down. And again, guys, I really like this look. If you've never watched one of my videos where I do 2 looks with one palette, I do lashes, liner, and all that stuff at the end after both eye looks are done. It just makes it easier for me. I'm going to go ahead and prime this side off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so going in for look number 2, I do want to make this side darker. So we're going to start with our darker shades and then work our way up to the lighter ones. It's going to start with the shade Dusk. I'm taking this on a BH number 12 brush, so it's a really, really small detailed blending brush. And I'm going to pack this along the outer portion and then directly into my natural crease. So I'm not going to be blending or anything just yet. I just want to kind of stamp this along the crease. So I'm going to bring it about 3/4 of the way in. Now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of darken this up. You guys, I literally cannot wait for Halloween to be over with just so I can start decorating for Christmas. Like, I'm a Christmas fanatic, and when Christmas comes around, I feel like I'm just so happy during Christmas time. And my daughter is also becoming a Christmas fanatic where everything about Christmas makes her really excited too. And of course, like the gifts and all that stuff is nice for Christmas, but it's like the whole overall feeling of being like warm, fuzzy, cozy, baking cookies. It's just like the whole vibe of Christmas that makes us excited. So before we go with our next shade, I'm just going to lightly start tapping out these edges. Also just going to tap this shade right here into the inner part. This is kind of going to help us create another shade in between the dark and the lighter shades, just because the next shade we're going to be going into isn't like an extremely dark shade, and I'm kind of worried how it's going to look up against this super dark shade. Next, I'm going to grab this shade right here, and this is called Dawn. So now with this shade, I'm going to go right along the edge of the deep brown, and we're going to start tapping this out. I'm not blending just yet, I'm just tapping. Now that we've tapped the shade out, we're just going to lightly start blending the edges. Now we're going to take our last matte shade, and this is called Sunset. And I'm going to take this on the BH number 8 brush. So it's kind of like the last brush, but bigger. If you guys watch my channel a lot, you guys know that these are two of my favorite brushes by BH Cosmetics. And I found them at TJ Maxx, and they are so good. Let's do the same thing with Sunset. Just again, tapping it along the edge here. Now that we've tapped everything out, let's go ahead and start softly blending. So when I started from my darker shades to the lighter shades, it makes for a more tedious and long process, just because now I'm going to have to go back in with every single shade. Whereas when I do eyeshadow like this, it literally takes me like no time at all. So going back through all the shades first, going to go in with Dusk. And I'm not going to stamp it this time. I'm just going to start softly blending. And I'm kind of going to blend it upwards just to help blend everything out. Then going back in with Dawn, same thing. And I'm using very, very light pressure. Then going in with Sunset, which is our last shade. Just going to blend all this out. All right, you guys, so I think the blending is done, and I'm very happy with that blend. I think it looks really good. So now usually when I would start with my darker shades and work my way up to the lighter ones, I would do a cut crease, but I don't know if I want to do a cut crease today. I think I just want to kind of try the shimmers out on their own and see how they apply. So we are going to be using the last two shimmer shades, and I'm first going to go in with this one called Pretty. So I'm going to apply this just on the inner part of the lid. I don't know, you guys. I don't like the formula of this shimmer and also this one. There is one more shimmer in the palette that looks like it's going to be like a little bit more glittery, but I just feel like this shade could pass for like a matte shade. I don't know. I just feel like it has like no shimmer to it whatsoever. I don't know. I don't really like this shade at all. So we're going to take the other shimmer shade. So the other shade is called Fireworks. And I think that this shade is going to be a lot better, but let's go ahead and try it out. Oh yeah, that shade is stunning. I'm just going to apply this right over the last shade. Now this is the type of shimmer shade that I love. It's so pretty. I'm going to go back in with Dusk and just blend out the shimmer shade. As of right now, I don't really know if this palette is worth $29, but let's go ahead and finish up the look, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and everything at the end. I'm going to go back in with the shade Dawn, and I'm just going to start blending this right here. And then I'm taking the shade Dusk on the skinny smudging brush, and I'm just going to tuck this right up under the lash line. Okay, so here are both eye looks done before lashes. I'm going to go off camera, do liner, lashes, and all that good stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so here is the finished look after liner, lashes. I also did lips. For lips, I have the Essence lip liner in the shade Curious. If you guys watch my channel, you guys know I love this lip liner. It is so good, and it's only like $5 or $6 at Ulta, and it lasts all day. Lipstick, I have the Yisa Beauty one. This is in the shade M13. This is the Dragon Velvet lipstick. Look at this packaging, by the way, you guys. It's so freaking cool. Here is what the shade looks like. Let me go ahead and give you guys a close-up, and then we're going to talk all about this palette. We're going to do swatches, and then I'm going to show you an alternative to this palette, which is much more affordable. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some swatches. So I'm going to start with the first row, work my way over, and then so on and so forth. Once I have everything swatched, I'll come back and show you. Off of swatching the shimmer shades, I think they're going to work much better with your finger. Personally, for me, I don't like shimmer shades that I have to use my finger for. I feel like if I can't pick them up with a brush and my finger, then they're not a great shimmer shade. So here are all 8 shades swatched. So everything swatched really well. The shades feel really, really soft in the pan. And again, for the shimmer shades, I think your best bet is going to be to use your finger just because they apply way better and they look a lot more shiny, way more foiled, and they just overall feel and look better with my finger than they did on my eyes. Now I'm going to show you a palette that I think is going to be better than this one, and you're going to get more shades and it's way cheaper. And that is the new LA Girl Dashing All the Way 28 color eyeshadow palette. The time you're watching this video, a look with this palette should already be up. So they both do have pink packaging. And with the LA Girl one, you're going to get 20 shades, whereas with the ABH one, you're only going to get 8 shades. Now, you're not going to be able to find every single shade from the ABH palette, but there are a lot of similarities. And again, the LA Girl one is only $17 and you're going to get more shades. Also, the pan sizes are much bigger. And I have already tried out the LA Girl palette, so I can tell you that it is really, really good. Okay, let me try to hold them up side by side, and then maybe I'll do like a few swatches to compare. It's going to kind of be hard to compare just because there are so many more shades in the LA Girl palette. So let me go ahead and swatch a few shades that I think are going to be similar, and then I'll come back and show you. So here are the swatches. So the Anastasia palette is over here, and then the LA Girl palette is over here. So there were 2 matte shades from the ABH palette that didn't look similar to any of the ones in the LA Girl palette. And these swatches, you guys, they're not super close and they're not perfect. But again, I think that the LA Girl one is a way better alternative. You're going to get more shades, and overall, it's just more affordable. The formula in this LA Girl palette literally knocked it out of the park. Like, it is so freaking good. Like, the shimmer shades apply with a brush, they apply with your finger. They are so beautiful. The matte shades are super pigmented and they also blend out really, really easily. So I feel like even though the shades are identical, I do recommend the LA Girl one way more than the ABH one. For the ABH one, I just don't think it's worth $29. And nothing about this packaging is like super fancy either. So I feel like for that price, it's just not worth it. I just feel like you could be spending your money on better eyeshadow palettes. Like, if you're a crazy ABH lover and you buy like all their new palettes, then this is a little good one to add to your collection. Me, I'm just more of a drugstore kind of girl, and I'd much rather pay $17 for 20 shades than $29 for 8 shades. That's just my opinion. The palette wasn't bad in any way, shape, or form. I just think you can get better products for less expensive. But overall, I do love the 2 looks that I was able to create with this palette. And again, just because I'm saying I like the LA Girl palette better does not mean I don't like the ABH one. But yeah, guys, what do you think about these eye looks? Which one do you like better? Personally, for me, I like them both. I think I like this one just a little bit more though. And yeah, if you guys ended up liking this video and you guys want to see more videos like this one, please be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. If there's anything at all that you guys want to see next, please let me know. And yeah, guys, I don't want to sound repetitive, so I'm going to get off here, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.